Hello, welcome. It's 8 o'clock in the UK and it's 9 o'clock here in the Netherlands, and I saw some people watching even from the US. So for you guys, good afternoon. Everybody else, good evening, and welcome to an MRA community broadcast brought to you by MyRoute-app. My name is Serge, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today after we've been away for a couple of weeks over the winter. Today I'm going to explain a few new things to you. As you know, MyRoute-app, you can create great routes, but with the new feature that we recently added, there is a new technology that has to be with shaping points and via points. And in this community broadcast, I will explain exactly what is either one of those two. So shaping points and via points. Without further ado, let's go to the website and I'll show you what it's all about. So first, let me really quickly reiterate, MyRoute-app is an online route planning tool. It's full function. It's the only all-in-one route tool, and you can make, find, and share the greatest routes on the web. You can use it on your PC, on your Mac, on your Android, or on your iOS devices. So even on the go, you have everything you need. If you don't have an account yet, please start the free trial. You have 14 days to see if MyRoute-app route planning and MyRoute-app navigation is something that you would like to use. And then if you are convinced it is, you're welcome to subscribe. For those that already have an account, please go ahead and log in. I have set up my account already, so I only have to click login. And as always, we find ourselves in the Route Lab. Today I want to talk to you about what I said, routes, tracks, and in routes we use route points, and those route points come in two varieties. Shaping points that are only there to shape the route to go over specific roads that we choose, and via points, route points that we want to stop at. So for example, your start is always a via point, your finish is always a via point, and your lunch break may be a via point, or something that you want to see during your ride, maybe a via point. All the rest, to get the route to be exactly the way you want it to be, we call shaping points. So how does that look in real life? Let's start by opening a new route and creating a simple ride. For this to work, I want to show you that I create a new route with a new route name. So I call it shaping and via, for example. So we know what we're talking about. In this case, I share it publicly. In MyRoute-app, you can share your routes directly to all MyRoute-app users, or you can limit them to friends, people that you have been befriended on MyRoute-app, or you can keep it private only for yourself. I share this route publicly. We're going to be driving. I'm on a motorcycle, so driving, otherwise it would be cycling or by foot. And this is also a recently added feature, and I really like it a lot because it helps you understand at what time will you visit what route point. So let's say that we're planning for this Saturday at around 9 in the morning. I scroll back till I find 9. And as you can see, April 24th at 9, and I click OK. As always, MyRoute-app starts with your map located to where you are physically located, as long as you have your location on your PC or on your iPad or your tablet set. But let's move to the UK by just scrolling over the map, and I see that we end up in Cambridge. So here in front of Girton College, I put in one waypoint. And as you can see, it is a hand. A hand is the indication of a via point. We need to get to that via point. Otherwise, we would miss the start. So if I would then select another waypoint, or route point, or however you want to call it, and we put ourselves here near Snake Pass. Sounds intriguing, so let's do that. You can see that automatically the here map, the map that I have selected to create this route on, using the toolkit settings, nothing to avoid, created the fastest route between point 1 and point 2, and they're both via points. As you can see, it's a hand, and the other one on this end is also a hand. Indication that it is a via point. We need to get to the start, and once we're at the start, we follow the black line and we end up at the finish. If I now want to move this route, I don't want to take the A1, but I want to go here over content, for example, I hover over this line until the plus sign is highlighted. I click and hold, I drag, zoom in on the A616 and drop my via point. And now, my route point. And now you can see that it's still using the fastest calculation, so it still uses fastest route. But instead of going over the A1 here, I now forced it to shape over the A616. So I put in a shaping point that only has the feature, or only has the functionality of moving the route from the road that it was on to a road that I selected. If I had selected avoid highways, like I can do here, it would already have missed the A1, but I could still drag and put in another route point, let's say somewhere around here. It's probably not going to be a great location for a route point. No, you see it's going to be a hook on the road. So let's take this one, I'll put it here. This is just to show you that I'm shaping the route with shaping points. So via points are fixed points that I need to visit. Shaping points are only there to shape the route. So I add another one, and don't mind where I put the route points now. This is going to be a silly ride. It's not relevant at all. I'm just using this as an example to show you the difference. So now we have also here in the overview on the left top corner a hand indicating a via point, 3 shaping points, and another hand indicating a via point. Let's say that this waypoint, this route point, we want to create a stop at or near. In MyRoute-app you can simply add POIs, points of interest. So let's select restaurant, fast food, and maybe a pub. And if we zoom in, let's see if we find something in this area. Yep, we can find something. We find the beehive here in the area. So I add this to the route. Notice that I selected it as a waypoint and as a point of interest, but since it is number 6, it's now, since I added it manually, it's now at the end of the line, and I also want to be there between 3 and 4. So I take this and now I add it between 3 and 4. Maybe I want to change 3 to go here, make it a little bit more logical. And as you can see, the waypoint is here somewhere where I cannot come with my motorcycle. So this will be an issue when I start riding it. So what I prefer to do is, instead of adding it as a waypoint and a POI, I only add it as a POI. So by removing this waypoint altogether, the beehive, the route no longer goes here, but I know that there's a cafe of sorts there. So I drag the line, I drag the line and I put it in front of the cafe. And as you can see, now I don't go through the cafe, so this is a much more logical place to place that route point. But now it is a shaping point. But I want to be notified that we're nearing our coffee stop, because looking at time, we started at 9 and it's 11 when we pass waypoint 4, route point 4. So this would be a great time for a coffee stop. If we don't stop for coffee, the total ride length would be 3 hours and 22 minutes approximately. This is also always calculated based on average speeds and allowed speeds. It's never exact science, it's a guidance, right? So if I add a coffee stop here, I can simply select the route point, and first up you can rename the route point. Well, I usually leave it to the address, because if I move it a little bit later on, the address is then updated to the then new address, even if I move it a millimeter on the map. So I don't bother changing the waypoint name, but what I do bother is changing the waypoint color. And if I want to follow the logic that we use in the Route Expert library, blue is just a simple shaping point, doesn't have any features or functionality. Yellow, we indicate, hey, this is for example, a castle or a museum that you want to get off the bike, maybe even take off your helmet and your jacket and visit. So yellow indicates a longer stop. Green indicates a viewpoint, for example, or a nice waterfall that you want to take a picture of with your bike in front of it and then quickly get on your way. So green is a quick stop, nice viewpoint. Maybe you want to just visit and have a look and then move on. Red is a longer stop, usually indicating lunch, coffee, or hotel. And this is just our logic, right? The Route Expert logic. You can add any logic to it that you want. And the pink one is the last color. We usually use that for additional information. A shortcut on the left. If you create a route that is 400 kilometers long and it's bad weather, and around the 300 kilometer mark you have a shortcut to get back to the hotel quicker, you highlight that pink, and then while you're riding you can see that information and then decide to take the shortcut or not. In this case it's going to be a coffee break, so I'm going to create a red route point, and I'm going to insert a pause, but I also am going to make it a via point. So I add the 3 buttons, I click on the 3 buttons to get more functionality, more options. And now I get to my note, coffee. And I get, with the 3 dots, I get to the hand that indicates a via point. And watch, the red shaping point now becomes a red via point. Doesn't change anything in the route. It still goes the same roads, but now it's a mandatory visit to this route point. So even if we take a wrong turn somewhere, your navigation will be trying to point you to point 4. And you want that because you selected this beehive for a reason, or you selected that castle for a reason. So you want your points that you want to visit, you want to be a via point. Okay, so we created that, but we aim to stop there and drink some coffee. And since we're riding in a group and we want to have a better idea of the total length of the ride, and remember it's 3 hours 22 minutes, I can insert a pause here. I can create a coffee break. I can select the coffee icon or the lunch icon, or where we gather as a group, or a gas station. But let's select coffee, and I can insert a pause. And coffee, if we're with 3 people, it's going to take 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. If we're with a group of 20 bikes, you're probably going to need 45 minutes to an hour. So I select an hour for this coffee stop. And as you can see now, the total length is now 4 hours and 22 minutes. Also here. And this helps you plan your route better. So you now, if you add some stops for a museum and you calculate 2 hours in the museum, you can now have a better understanding of how long your riding day will be. Okay, so now we have 3 via points, the start, the finish, and the lunch or the coffee. And I can add as many as I want, of course. So if I want to quickly change this one into a via point as well, now it's a mandatory stop too. Okay, so far so good. Why would you want shaping points and via points? We can ride on tracks, can't we? Yes, we can. For the longest time we have been telling people, and not just us at MyRoute-app, but other YouTube channels have done the same. If you ride in a group, and people use different navigation systems, track is the best way to go, because track is a start and a finish, and the navigation just follows the black line or the purple line, green line, whatever color you make it, without thinking for itself. A route, on the other hand, is a collection of route points, as you see on the map here. And now the settings used in your sat-nav, in your TomTom, in your Garmin Zumo, or in any of the apps that you use, will calculate the route between those points using their own logic. And that may not be the same logic as the map that you created to ride on. So if you use the Garmin Here map and only avoid highways, and you then load it as a route on your TomTom fastest route, you're not going to get those nice roads that you selected. So therefore, you would like to use a track. But if you also use MyRoute-app navigation, you are now able to, and I'm just adding a small screen share tool here, you're able to use these shaping points directly on your MyRoute-app navigation app. And so I created the link, and I'm sharing my app here. So you're looking at my MRA navigation app. It's in Dutch because I downloaded it from a Dutch Play Store. It's on my iPad. I can show you my iPad here real quick. Oh. Of course, I'm not riding with an iPad. I'm planning on an iPad or demonstrating on an iPad, but I am riding with a Android ruggedized app, tablet with the MyRoute-app navigation app on it. This new feature of the shaping points and the via points is for now available on iOS. Android will be available in about 2 weeks, so I'm demonstrating it on iOS. The same will apply on Android. Same will apply on your phone. If you're using the MyRoute-app navigation app on your phone, same story. I'll show you in a minute. And the new Garmin Zumo XT also can handle the new way of shaping points and route points, via points, as I'm going to show you. So first up, let's look at the navigation app. I just created a route that we called shaping and via. So I go to navigate and track, and then I select routes. And as you can see, the first one all the way at the top is called shaping and via. I select that on my iPad, and since I'm in the Netherlands, you can see that the route that we created is on the map here. I'm just going to move it around a little bit so that you can see it. Starts here near Cambridge, and because I'm using the navigation app on my iPad, it starts to create a transit route from where I am now, and you can see that here on the map, right in front of my, right on top of my head, the green flag indicating where I am now, and it creates the quickest route, in this case through Hoek van Holland and then Harwich to Cambridge to start the route. This is actually a cool feature, because many people ask in Facebook groups and in fora, can I create a quick route from where I am to where I want to start my windy road in the Lake District, for example. But I do want to take the fastest route from where I am to where I start my route. Of course, you can create a route, but you can also use your MyRoute-app navigation or any of the sat-navs that bring you to your starting point. If you select start point on your sat-nav, it will take, using your sat-nav's settings, and those are usually by default fastest road, from where you are to waypoint 1 to route point 1. So don't create a route from your home to your start point, just create the route where you want to ride it, and then take the fastest from where you are to route point 1. Just a quick tip. Okay, so that's why you see this black line here on the screen. And if I zoom in, I need to pinch on my iPad. I'm pinching on my iPad. I can, and since I'm doing it with the left hand, it becomes messy, but let's try and do it a little bit better. You can see the beehive is on here. This is the route point that we created, and you can see it's the green hand. It's the same as we put on the map when we were creating the route. And I tilted the route here a little bit. Let's see if I can. So now it's almost similarly oriented. So in my route-app navigation, I see the beehive indicating red. I can see that it is a stop, and if I'm actually navigating using the app, so I press the big blue button on the bottom, it will also show the information that I put on the waypoint, in this case coffee. So to summarize, we have two types of route points. Shaping points, indicated in my MyRoute-app as the icon that you are familiar with, as the blue drop, only used to shape the route over a road that you want to go on. So you can put them anywhere, you can drag, you can drop them. It's just to shape the route to the road that you want to take. A via point is a mandatory stop for whatever reason: lunch, coffee, museum, hotel. Your stop and your start are always via points. Anything in between can be a via point, but unless there is a reason for making them a via point, I would suggest keeping them shaping points. Otherwise, if you, for example, if there's roadworks and you need to take a detour, I see that I didn't put this one on the road. Shame on me. So if there's a detour, a shaping point will be recalculated in the app. So if you miss a shaping point, the app will say, okay, you missed that, I'll bring you to the next shaping point. There's an algorithm that takes into account how many times it tries and all that stuff. But a via point, it will try to keep you going back to that via point. Maybe you remember from your TomTom with the ITNs, or on your Garmin with the hard and the soft route points. Well, this is exactly that, so use them wisely. Via points you need to visit, and shaping points you can automatically skip. I also said that I use the Android app, and I can only share one screen on screen, so I'll share this here. I use navigation and then select routes. And as you can see, here is shaping and via also showing as the top one. I don't have to do anything for that, right? Because I'm logged in with the same account, it's automatically updated. It's even so updated that if I move this into view, there's number 3. If I update this to another color, for example green, now here on the, oh sorry, I added a waypoint accidentally. I updated the color to this one in green. If I now go back on my app and reopen the same route, and of course I have to zoom in a little bit, then you can see that waypoint 3 is now green on the app as well. That's how real-time updated it is. And here on the Android app, I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see that it's not a hand, it only uses the color. The Wi-Fi on my Android app was not playing nice with me. And here you see the two, and it's funny because I'm using a green screen. This waypoint 3, which is green, is now see-through. So that's why you see a white via point. Anyway, the via point here is still indicating red, but not as a hand, because this is Android, and that will be available in about 2 weeks. Now for the Garmin Zumo. If I open MyRoute-app on my mobile device, this can be my iPad, this can be my phone. I'm just showing you on the phone right now. Here at the bottom you see shaping and, oh sorry, I accidentally clicked the friends header. At the bottom there was shaping and via, it is there. So if I open that on my phone. There it is. And now I select in the page menu, Save As. There we go. I can then select GPX 1.1 beta, and now it's downloading the file. It's here on the phone. If I now open it, and I have installed Garmin Drive, you see GPX file received. Do you want to send it to your Garmin device? It's in Dutch, but trust me, that's what it says. Now I'm switching on my my Garmin. There it is. And my Garmin now is connected. You can see here on my phone that it's connected to the Zumo. And it's now sending the file. Here the big block in the middle. GPX file has been sent. And on the Garmin it is now receiving 1 of 1. It will take a few seconds to load on the Garmin. And then I will show you that the fire points and shaping points are also showing on the map here in the Garmin. The only thing is I just found out that it's showing on a green map, and therefore the Garmin will be see-through. Okay, new tracks and routes have been received and added. I press OK. So now I'm in the home screen and I select Apps. And I go to the trip planner. This is the trip planner, in Dutch, een reisplanner. And I go to my saved trips. And if I scroll down, there you go, shaping and via. It's there. It, as always, shows the waypoints. And I select Go. And where do you want to start? I want to start at Huntingdon Road in Cambridgeshire. I select OK. It's calculating the route. And sometimes that's really fast, sometimes it takes a few seconds. And now for the fun part, welcome to my see-through Garmin. The green is now see-through. But if I zoom in a little bit, you can definitely see there's a flag marker here and a flag marker there, indicating the via points. So exporting to your Garmin Zumo XT works a treat. Does it also work on TomTom? Unfortunately not. TomTom has a different way of handling hard and soft route points, so shaping points and via points. You can use ITN on TomTom, and those will then be mandatory stops. But exporting to a TomTom is best done using a track to ensure that you have the same route while riding when you created it. On the older Garmin Zumos, most of this functionality works, but not always and not as easy as the XT. And the reason for that is that the API, the software that Garmin allows third parties, and MyRoute-app is a third party in this case, to connect to their software platform is not as great on the older devices as it is on the XT. The XT is the perfect example of how it can be done, and therefore we can use that. Okay, I can tell that we exactly matched the 30 minutes. MyRoute-app community broadcasts are usually a little bit shorter than the webinars that we used to host, and we're talking about one specific subject, and today it was shaping and via points. I hope you learned something. I hope you understand the difference. If you need more help, there's two things that I want to point out. First, we have the MyRoute-app forum, as you can see here on the website. On the forum, there is a group of people that share information, and you can ask questions and you get them answered. And it's other users, it's community members by MyRoute-app, it's route experts, it's all kinds of people. And you can write in any language that you want. Google Translate does the rest. You can ask your question and get help for any MyRoute-app or route planning or sat-nav question that you may have. So MyRoute-app forum, the community forum, please check it out, read something, post something, ask a question and get answers. The second thing I want to point out, or actually maybe I want to point out three things. I did two in the Dutch, but let me point out that there is a great support page. On the support page you also find all the manuals. They have recently been updated. They're in Dutch, English, French, German, maybe also Italian already, but at least those four languages are completely ready to go, updated with the new information, new screenshots and everything else. And there's a video course, so if you want to know more, check that out. And if that is not enough, we recently launched the MyRoute-app Academy. And the MyRoute-app Academy is a great way to know more about MyRoute-app, to get to know more about MyRoute-app. I'm sorry, it's in Dutch here. It will be in English if you select English. Here on the bottom right. And there's three things to the MyRoute-app Academy. The MyRoute-app YouTube channel, all the instructional videos, most of the videos that we took during these live webinars and during these community broadcasts, you can find on YouTube, so you can watch them again. Of course, there is this MyRoute-app Facebook live broadcasting. Sometimes it's a 10-minute snippet, sometimes it's a 30-minute in-depth informational bulletin like today. And what I really would like you to check out is the MyRoute-app e-learning. And if you are an avid MyRoute-app user, you may want to skip getting to know MyRoute-app, but if you've never seen MyRoute-app, you want to definitely write up for the free online training that we host a couple of times per month. If there's a lot of people want to join, we can add always more. It's in English. There's also Dutch available, German coming soon. And if there's somebody in French native tongue that wants to host one of those instruction video sessions, then please reach out and get accredited. In getting to know MyRoute-app, we go over the basics. We show you how to create a route planning tool. We show all the other products that we have. Then in the second step, you go to getting started with the MyRoute-app. This is an online training, an hour and a half. We go into more detail, and for the experts, you can get the most out of MyRoute-app. Also a paid for training. The first one is free. The other two are a little cost associated to cover our costs here. It's a dedicated session up to a maximum number of viewers, so you can have your time to ask questions. You can work with the instructor to maybe look at a multi-day trip. If you want to join as a group or as a touring company or as a motorcycle club, please reach out. We even do bespoke trainings, so if there's something really particular that you want to talk about, reach out and book some time. Tailored with MyRoute-app, you can just fill out your information and whatever it is that you want to be instructed on, and me and the other instructors are happy to have you on our live instructions and teach you all there is to know about MyRoute-app. Okay, so that is for now all that I want to share with you and all that I have to share with you today. I look forward to seeing you again on any of the new Academy e-learnings or on the next MyRoute-app community broadcast here on Facebook or YouTube. For now, stay safe, have a great riding weekend. I hope you can all enjoy a few kilometers in the sun. Here in the Netherlands we have the tulip fields. I'm going to be visiting for sure this weekend. I hope you have something great to look forward to. Until then, stay safe and see you next time. Goodbye.